Hello from Mindset Daily, wishing you a day full of health, peace, and happiness. Thank you for watching the Mindset Daily channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to support us. Thank you so much. What if the success you're chasing has nothing to do with luck? What if the real secret isn't a breakthrough moment, but something you overlook every single day? And what if the most powerful transformation comes not from sudden change, but from the quiet discipline you repeat without applause? Most people spend their lives searching for that magic bullet, the one secret formula, the life-changing shortcut, the big break that will fix everything. But let me be clear, there is no magic bullet. What truly creates results isn't sudden luck, it's daily discipline. It's the small, consistent actions you take over and over again that eventually compound into something extraordinary. That's where the real magic lies. The very first thing you must work on every single day is your personal philosophy. But what exactly does that mean? It means your core beliefs, your convictions about life, about success and failure, about people, and most importantly, about yourself. Your philosophy is like the foundation of a house. Everything in your life is built on it. And if that foundation is weak, it doesn't matter how impressive your house appears on the outside. The moment life throws a storm your way, it's going to collapse. Yet, most people never pause to examine their philosophy. They inherit it from their parents, absorb it unconsciously from their surroundings, or adopt it from friends, never stopping to ask whether these beliefs are actually helping or harming them. But here's the hard truth. Your philosophy shapes your thoughts. Your thoughts shape your feelings. And your feelings, in turn, drive your actions. And guess what? Your actions are what ultimately determine your results. Let's take money as an example. If you believe that money is evil, that wealthy people are corrupt, or that wanting financial success makes you greedy, then no matter how hard you try, your subconscious mind will block you from achieving wealth. It will sabotage every opportunity because deep down, wealth clashes with your internal beliefs. Or take success. If you think success means stepping on others or sacrificing your integrity, then you'll either avoid success entirely or pursue it in ways that leave you feeling empty or broken in the end. But when your philosophy begins to shift, when you start to believe that money is simply a tool, a neutral force that amplifies who you already are, everything changes. You begin to see wealth not as something to avoid, but as a powerful resource. A resource that gives you more freedom, more choices, and more capacity to serve others and bring real value into the world. If you truly believe that success comes from solving problems and meeting needs, if you see it as a way to lift others up rather than push them down, then you'll chase success with energy, purpose, and integrity. So how do you actually work on your personal philosophy every single day? You become a student. You read the writings of people who've achieved the results you aspire to. You expose yourself to new ideas, especially those that challenge the way you currently think. You question your own beliefs and ask, honestly, is this belief helping me or holding me back? Is it opening doors or quietly closing them? And here's the part that most people miss. You must be willing to change your philosophy the moment you realize it's not working for you. This isn't always easy. In fact, most people would rather defend their limitations than let them go. They'd rather be right than rich. They'd rather protect their familiar beliefs than admit they might be wrong. But real growth belongs to the person who can say, I was wrong, and I'm ready to change. Working on your philosophy every day means choosing to become a lifelong learner, a student of success, a student of human behavior, a student of what actually works in the real world. It means constantly surrounding yourself with ideas, insights, and voices that challenge you to grow into something greater than who you were yesterday. Now, let's talk about the second thing you must work on daily, your attitude. While philosophy is what you believe at your core, attitude is how you show up. It's how you respond to your day, your obstacles, your opportunities. Your attitude is the emotional and mental posture you bring to every situation. And here's the truth. I've met people with incredible talent, extraordinary potential, but they've accomplished almost nothing. Why? Because they carried a poor attitude. I've also met people with only modest talent. People who didn't seem remarkable at first, but they went on to accomplish extraordinary things. Why? Because their attitude was exceptional. In many cases, attitude becomes the deciding factor between success and failure. It's not just some soft, feel-good concept. It's the engine behind your outcomes. And here's something most people don't realize. Your attitude is a choice. You don't need to feel positive in order to choose a positive attitude. You don't need to feel motivated to take a motivated approach to your day. That's the mistake many people make. They wait for the feeling before they take the action. But attitude isn't something that follows emotion. It follows decision. It's not controlled by your circumstances. It's controlled by you. Here's a truth that might surprise you. Successful people have bad days too. They experience disappointments, face setbacks, lose loved ones, suffer failure, just like everyone else. But what sets them apart isn't that life treats them better. It's that they don't let their circumstances decide how they show up. They understand that while they may not control what happens to them, they always control how they respond. That's what it means to work on your attitude every single day. It means waking up and making a decision before the day unfolds, to lead with strength, with perspective, with growth in mind. It means choosing to move forward even when things feel uncertain, unfair, or heavy. It's not about fake positivity or pretending life is perfect. No, this isn't about ignoring your pain or denying your problems. It's about choosing to focus on solutions instead of staying stuck in problems. It's about seeing opportunities where others only see obstacles. It's about putting your energy into what you can control instead of what you can't. And that choice, made daily, is where true power lies. Every morning, you face a decision. Will you walk into the day as a victim or as a victor? Will you search for excuses or solutions? Will you dwell on what's lacking or focus on what you're capable of creating? Because your attitude doesn't just affect you, it radiates out to everyone around you. People can feel your energy before you say a word. When you bring a positive, hopeful, can-do mindset into a room, people notice. They gravitate toward you. They want to collaborate, connect, and contribute. But if you walk in with a negative, defeated, complaining spirit, people instinctively pull away. Doors close. Opportunities disappear. Not because the world is unfair, but because your attitude pushed them away before you even realized it. Always remember this. Your attitude is contagious. The question is, what are you spreading? When people come into contact with you, do they leave feeling more hopeful, more energized, more confident about themselves and their future? Your energy leaves an impression, and every day, you're either lifting others up or pulling them down. So make sure what you're passing on is something worth catching. Now let's move to the third thing you must work on every day, your activities. This is where your philosophy and your attitude collide with the real world. You can believe all the right things and carry the best mindset imaginable. But if your daily actions don't line up with your goals, you'll stay stuck. Results aren't created by beliefs alone. They're born through action. Here's the trap many people fall into. They're constantly busy, yet they accomplish very little. They confuse being active with being productive. They confuse motion with progress. They're always doing something, but they're not doing the right things, and more importantly, they're not doing them consistently. Let me ask you something that could shift everything. What are the 3 to 5 most critical activities that, if done daily, would virtually guarantee your success in your chosen path? Can you name them clearly, confidently, without hesitation? Most people can't. They've never taken the time to identify which actions lead directly to their goals. Here's a principle you need to engrave in your mind. Success isn't about doing extraordinary things. It's about doing ordinary things in an extraordinary way and doing them with consistency. That's the real edge. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful ones isn't that the successful ones do completely different things. It's that they approach the same things with more focus, more intention, and greater consistency. Think about it. If you want to succeed in sales, you have to prospect every single day. If your goal is to build wealth, that means saving and investing daily, not just when it feels convenient. If you want to be healthy, then daily exercise and mindful eating must be non-negotiables. Want strong relationships? You'll need to pour into those connections day after day. And if personal growth is your goal, you must learn something new every single day. That's the pattern. That's the standard. And the key phrase that ties it all together? Every day. Not when it's easy. Not when you're in the mood. Not when there's nothing else on your plate. Every single day. That's the difference maker. Success isn't born out of occasional bursts of heroic effort. It's built through quiet, consistent daily disciplines. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, how can I possibly find time to do all these things every day? Let me flip that question around. Can you really afford not to? The time you dedicate to the right activities each day isn't just another task. It's an investment. One that compounds over time and pays you back in freedom, success, health, and peace of mind. On the other hand, every day you neglect these essential actions becomes a cost. And that cost doesn't just sit idle, it grows. It compounds in the wrong direction. Let's break it down. If you don't spend time caring for your health every day, eventually you'll be forced to spend time being sick, dealing with fatigue, pain, or chronic issues that could have been prevented. If you neglect your relationships, you'll pay the emotional toll of loneliness, disconnection, or the heavy work of repairing broken trust. And if you don't develop yourself personally, if you stop learning, growing, challenging your mind, you'll find yourself falling behind. You might wake up one day wondering how the world moved forward while you stood still. That's why working on your daily activities means living with intention. It means choosing how you spend your time before life chooses it for you. It's about recognizing that not everything urgent is important. Sometimes saying no to something good allows you to say yes to something great. Discipline plays a huge role here. You've got to be disciplined with your calendar, disciplined with your decisions, disciplined with your commitments. Here's one simple but powerful strategy. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write down the 3 most important things you need to accomplish tomorrow. Just 3. Then, when a new day begins, do those 3 things first before you check your email, return calls, or deal with last-minute distractions. Do them while your energy is strong and your mind is clear. Let those top priorities shape your day. Not the noise, not the chaos, not the pressure of what's urgent but unimportant. And now we arrive at the 4th thing you must work on every day, your associations. Show me who you spend your time with, and I'll show you who you're becoming. Your associations matter deeply. They're not just a reflection of your present. They're a preview of your future. The people you surround yourself with don't just influence you, they shape you. Their thoughts, habits, behaviors, and energy begin to seep into your own life, often without you even noticing. Yes, it's true that successful people tend to spend time with other successful people, but it's more than just a coincidence or preference. It's human nature. We unconsciously mirror the mindset and behavior of those we spend the most time with. If your circle is filled with complainers, it won't be long before you start to find more to complain about. If you're around people who constantly make excuses or shift blame, you'll likely start doing the same. But the reverse is just as powerful. Surround yourself with people who own their results, people who take full responsibility for their lives, and you'll naturally rise to that standard. Spend time with people who are always learning, always growing, always reaching for something greater, and you'll feel that pull too. You'll begin to adopt that same hunger, that same focus, that same drive. Now, does this mean you should cut off everyone from your past? That you suddenly need to become cold or arrogant? Of course not. This isn't about being a snob. It's about being intentional. It's about being protective of the voices you allow to influence your mindset, your beliefs, your momentum. Working on your associations every day means becoming strategic about who you give your time and attention to. It means seeking out connections that stretch you, relationships that call you to a higher standard. It means finding communities, clubs, or organizations that reflect the kind of person you want to grow into. It might mean attending seminars, workshops, or events where you're exposed to new ideas and the energy of people further along the path than you. It might be as simple as reading a book or listening to a podcast by someone who's achieved what you aspire to do. Remember, proximity matters, even in the form of ideas. And here's something essential to keep in mind. This isn't just about what you can get from others. It's not just about what you can gain from others. It's also about what you bring to the table. If you want to attract successful, driven, high-quality people into your life, the best place to start is with yourself. Become the kind of person others naturally want to be around. Someone worth knowing. Someone who adds value, not just takes space. Be the one who brings energy, not drama. Be the one who uplifts a conversation, who encourages others when they're doubting themselves, who helps people see opportunities they didn't even know existed. Be someone who listens deeply, speaks with integrity, and brings genuine care to the room. That also means doing the small things that matter, like showing up when you say you will, keeping your word, following through on commitments. These qualities build trust, and trust builds influence. People are drawn to those who show consistency, who keep confidences, and who genuinely celebrate other success, not just their own. Think of relationships like a bank account. You can't just make withdrawals and expect the balance to stay healthy. You have to make deposits consistently. Every word of encouragement, every act of generosity, every time you truly listen, that's a deposit. And the more you invest in your relationships, the more you'll have to draw from when life presents you with opportunities, challenges, or moments when you need help or guidance. Now we arrive at the fifth and final thing you must work on every day, your skills. In a world that's moving faster than ever, what got you here won't get you there. The skills that were good enough yesterday may fall short tomorrow. That's just reality. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not getting better, you're falling behind because the rest of the world isn't standing still. Your income, more often than not, will never exceed your personal development, and your success will rarely outpace your skill set. If you want to have more in life, whether that's wealth, impact, or opportunity, you have to become more. If you want to earn more, you need to learn more. If you want to rise to a new level of achievement, you must develop the skills that make that rise possible. But here's the trap. Most people assume that once they've graduated, their education is done. That once they've mastered the basics of their job, they can simply cruise for the rest of their career. That mindset belongs to another era. In today's world, coasting is crashing. The truth is this: if you're not actively learning new skills, you're silently falling behind. The marketplace rewards those who bring value, and value comes from your ability to solve problems, to meet needs, and to innovate. The more useful your skills, the more valuable you become. The more valuable you become, the more opportunities naturally begin to find their way to you. That's not luck. That's the return on investment for building your skill set. Working on your skills every single day means choosing to become a lifelong learner. It's a mindset, not a one-time decision. It means regularly reading books, not just in your field, but in areas that support or complement your growth. It means enrolling in courses, showing up for seminars, diving into training programs. Not because you have to, but because you know growth is your edge. It also means consistently practicing your craft, whatever that may be, and always asking, how can I do this better? Mastery doesn't come from occasional effort. It comes from steady, deliberate refinement. But here's the interesting part. Often, the skills that make the biggest difference in your life aren't technical at all. They're not the hard skills most people focus on. The real game changers are what we might call fundamental success skills. Skills that cut across every industry, every profession, and every ambition. We're talking about communication skills, leadership, time management, relationship building, and creative problem solving. Think about it. In any given industry, most professionals share a similar level of technical knowledge. So what separates the top 5% from the rest? It's not that they know more about the mechanics. It's that they've mastered these core competencies. The person who can speak clearly and persuasively, lead with clarity and conviction, manage their time like a pro, build meaningful connections, and solve problems in innovative ways. That's the person who rises. That's the person who stands out. So yes, every day, you must dedicate time to developing your skills. Read at least 30 minutes each day. Make it a non-negotiable. Listen to educational content while commuting or working out. Practice new techniques until they become second nature. Don't just do the easy stuff. Seek out feedback from those ahead of you. Find mentors who can challenge and guide your growth. And here's something critical. Don't just learn, apply. Learning without action is just information. It sits in your mind, and used and ineffective. Knowledge by itself won't change your life, but applied knowledge will. You're not trying to become a walking encyclopedia. You're trying to become someone who gets real results. And now, let's bring everything together. These 5 areas, philosophy, attitude, activities, associations, and skills, they're not separate silos. They're interconnected. These 5 areas, your philosophy, your attitude, your activities, your associations, and your skills, aren't isolated. They're deeply interconnected and constantly influencing one another. Your philosophy shapes your attitude. Your attitude influences the actions you take. Those actions attract the kind of people you associate with. Your associations, in turn, influence both your beliefs and your skill development. And your skills? They loop back to affect how you think, how you feel, and what you do. It's a dynamic system. Everything is connected. That's why you can't afford to only focus on 1 or 2 of these areas and ignore the rest. They work together as a complete system. And like any system, its strength is determined by the weakest link. You might be crushing it with discipline and attitude, but if your associations are toxic, that weakness will eventually drag you down. But here's the encouraging truth. When you commit to working on all 5 areas consistently, something powerful happens. They begin to reinforce each other. When your philosophy becomes more empowering, your attitude shifts in a positive direction. When your attitude is energized, your daily activities become more focused and effective. As those activities level up, you naturally start to attract better relationships, people who support your growth. And through those associations, your skills develop faster because you're surrounded by people who challenge and inspire you. And as your skills grow, guess what? Your philosophy gets validated. Your confidence rises. Your momentum builds. It creates an upward spiral of progress and achievement, a kind of self-reinforcing cycle that propels you forward. While most people remain stuck in a downward spiral, trapped in negative thinking, poor habits, and disempowering relationships, you begin to rise. Day by day, step by step. That's the compound effect of daily disciplines working in your favor. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Jim, this sounds like a lot of work. Do I really have to do all of this every single day? And here's my honest answer. Yes, you do. But not because it's a burden, because it's the only path to real, lasting change. The truth is, you're going to spend the time anyway. The question is, how will you spend it? Will you invest it in activities that move you toward your goals, or waste it on habits that pull you further away? You're going to think thoughts either way. But will they be empowering thoughts that lift you or limiting thoughts that trap you? You're going to spend time with people anyway. But will those people inspire you or drain your energy and ambition? You're going to build habits, whether you're intentional about it or not. So will those habits serve you or sabotage your future? The hours will pass. The days will go by. The months and years will come and go, regardless of whether you choose to grow or stay the same. So the real question is this: where do you want to be when all that time has passed? Do you want to be standing in the same place you are now, frustrated, stuck, full of regret? Or do you want to be somewhere better, somewhere freer, stronger, more fulfilled? Let me share a story that perfectly illustrates the quiet, powerful force of daily discipline. There was a man who made a simple decision. He wanted to become financially independent. After doing the math, he realized that if he saved just $5 a day and invested it wisely, he could retire with over $1 million. Sounds doable, right? I mean, $5 a day, that's a small amount. Practically anyone can find $5 if they're serious about it. But here's what happened. Most days, he'd tell himself, it's only $5. Skipping one day won't really make a difference. And technically, he was right. One missed day didn't seem to matter. But one day became two. 2 days turned into a week. That week slipped into a month. And by the end of the year, instead of having saved $1,825, he had maybe a couple $100 to show for it, if that. Meanwhile, his friend, who had heard the exact same advice, made a different choice. He committed to saving $5 every single day, no matter what. Some days he had to skip coffee. Some days he packed his lunch instead of eating out. Other days he gave up small luxuries. But he never broke the habit. Every day, without fail, he set aside that $5. Fast forward 40 years. The first man was still working, still stressed, still wondering why he couldn't get ahead, still coming up with reasons for why it just didn't work out. But the second man, he was financially independent, living his dream, not because he made one big move, but because he respected the power of small, consistent actions. That's the real difference between success and failure. It's not always talent or luck or timing. So often it comes down to just a few simple disciplines practiced consistently over time. But here's the challenge, and it's what trips most people up. These disciplines are easy to do, but they're just as easy not to do. Saving $5 a day, that's easy, but it's just as easy to skip. Reading 30 minutes a day, totally manageable, but just as easy to put off. It's not about difficulty, it's about decision. Exercising for 30 minutes a day, it's simple, right? Easy to do, but here's the catch. It's also easy not to do. And that, right there, is the reason most people never reach their full potential. It's not because success is some impossible mountain to climb. It's because the daily disciplines that lead to success seem so small, so unimportant in the moment, that they're easy to dismiss. Skipping a workout? Not a big deal until it becomes a habit. The consequences don't show up right away. There's no instant penalty. But over time, those small moments of neglect begin to pile up. And what starts as a harmless choice quietly grows into major regret. On the flip side, the disciplines that create success also feel small and unremarkable when you're doing them. Reading for 30 minutes today won't make you a genius by tomorrow. Saving $5 won't make you a millionaire overnight. Exercising today won't instantly transform your body. But do those things every single day with consistency, with intention, and something incredible begins to happen. You start to activate what's known as the compound effect. Over weeks, months, and years, those small, consistent efforts add up to something extraordinary. Success, when you break it down, is simply the result of a few small disciplines practiced every day. And failure? It's just a few small errors in judgment repeated daily. That's it. The gap between success and failure is so subtle, so deceptively narrow that most people miss it completely. Think of it this way. Every day, you're either moving closer to your goals or drifting further away. There's no such thing as standing still. Life doesn't allow you to remain in one place. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every decision you make, it's either pushing you forward or pulling you backward. If you choose to read today, you've taken one step closer to becoming the wise, informed version of yourself. But if you skip it, you're not simply pausing. You're falling behind everyone who chose to read. If you get that workout in, you're building the healthy body you want. But if you don't, you're not maintaining where you are, you're slowly declining. That's why these 5 daily disciplines matter so much. Not just once a week, not when it's convenient, but every single day. Because every day, whether you realize it or not, you are building your future. It's not just about moving forward. It's about making sure you're not falling behind. In today's fast-paced, competitive world, standing still isn't an option. If you're not growing, you're shrinking. If you're not advancing, you're retreating. But here's the good news. You don't need to live in constant overwhelm to stay ahead. Once you begin working on these 5 areas consistently, something powerful happens. They start to feel natural. They become habits, automatic, effortless, embedded in your routine. You don't have to think so hard about them. You don't have to fight yourself to follow through. Just like brushing your teeth or getting dressed in the morning, they become part of who you are. But how do you get there? The secret is to start small and stay consistent. Don't fall into the trap of trying to completely overhaul your life overnight. Don't attempt to read 2 hours a day if you haven't been reading at all. Don't jump into an hour-long workout if your body's not used to movement. That approach burns people out, and they quit before the real change begins. Instead, start with something doable. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Focus on building the habit first, not the intensity. As that habit takes root, you can gradually increase the time and effort. Remember, you're not in a sprint, you're in a marathon. And who wins marathons? Not the ones who bolt off the starting line at full speed, but the ones who pace themselves, stay steady, and keep going mile after mile. In life, as in running, consistency beats intensity every single time. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 30 days, make a commitment to yourself. Just 30 days. Every day, take time. Even if it's just 15 minutes, to focus on each of the 5 areas. Spend at least 15 minutes each day reading something that expands your philosophy, something that sharpens your thinking or opens your perspective. Spend another 15 minutes working on your attitude, whether that's through affirmations, visualization, journaling, or simply practicing gratitude. Whatever strengthens your mental and emotional posture. And commit 15 focused minutes to your most important daily activities. The ones that directly move you closer to your goals, not just keep you busy. Spend at least 15 minutes each day connecting with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who make you think bigger than you did yesterday. Then, invest another 15 minutes learning a new skill or sharpening an existing one. That's it, just 75 minutes a day, less than an hour and a half. And yet, most people spend more time than that scrolling social media, binge-watching shows, or reacting to life instead of creating it. But when those 75 minutes are used intentionally, day in and day out for just 30 days, they begin to reshape your life in ways you never thought possible. You'll start noticing shifts, clearer thinking, stronger habits, better decisions. And here's what's even more powerful. Once you reach day 30, you won't want to stop. What started as a short-term challenge becomes something deeper. You'll begin to see and feel the difference. And that momentum will fuel your desire to continue. The discipline that felt hard at first becomes second nature. What began as a routine turns into a lifestyle. But it all starts with a decision. You have to decide that your life matters too much to leave it to chance. You have to decide that you are worth the time, the energy, the commitment. You have to decide that your dreams are not just optional. They're worth fighting for. Most people say they want change, but when it comes time to actually change their daily habits, they hesitate. They want new results, but they resist new routines. They admire success, but they avoid the work that success requires. They hope for more, but hope without habit doesn't produce change. But you're different. You've stayed with this message because deep down, you already know what others are still trying to figure out. Success isn't random. It's not an accident. You understand that if your life is going to improve, you have to improve. If your circumstances are going to change, you have to change. It's not about waiting for luck or wishing for better timing. It's about becoming better yourself. And these 5 things we've talked about, your philosophy, your attitude, your activities, your associations, and your skills, they aren't just abstract ideas. They are the core building blocks of a meaningful, purpose-driven, successful life. These 5 areas aren't just good habits or motivational ideas. They are the daily disciplines that draw the line between a life of quiet desperation and a life of extraordinary purpose, fulfillment, and achievement. Your philosophy shapes the path your life takes. Your attitude determines how high you rise. Your activities build your reality one choice at a time. Your associations shape your vision, your direction, your standards. And your skills determine the level of value you bring to the world. When you commit to working on all 5, every single day, you'll be amazed by how much can change. The transformation won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Slowly, steadily, then suddenly, it becomes your new normal. And now, the decision is yours. You can keep doing what you've been doing, living the same day over and over, wondering why nothing really changes. Or you can decide that today is the day you step into the life you were meant to live. You can choose to adopt these 5 disciplines and begin designing the future you've always envisioned. The world is waiting for what only you can offer, but it will only receive it if you're ready. The opportunities? They're out there, but they'll pass you by if you haven't trained yourself to spot them or built the courage to act on them. The life you want is within reach, but only if you're willing to pay the price, the quiet, daily effort that builds greatness. Don't let today slip by. Don't let another week pass with no progress. Don't waste another month coasting through routine. Don't finish another year without having grown, without having stretched into your potential. Your life is far too precious to waste. Your potential is too vast to leave untapped. Your dreams are too meaningful to ignore. Start now. Begin today, right where you are. Begin refining your philosophy, renewing your attitude, focusing your activities, elevating your associations, and sharpening your skills. 5 years from now, you will arrive. The real question is, where will you arrive? Will it be a place of meaning, progress, and contribution? Or will it be a place filled with regret, mediocrity, and missed chances? That answer depends entirely on what you choose to do between now and then. Will you live by default or by design? Make the choice. Make the commitment. Make the change. Your future self is counting on you, on the choices you make today. Don't let them down. Work on these 5 things every day and watch your life transform in ways you never imagined. The power is in your hands. The time is now. The decision is yours. Wishing you health, happiness, and growth. And don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Daily for more content that helps you become everything you were meant to be.